Welcome to the Deep Dive, where your curiosity is our compass, and we embark on journeys to uncover the stories behind fascinating innovations.
That's right.
You know those iconic sounds in music, the dreamy, swirling echoes that feel like they stretch into infinity, or maybe the rhythmic pulsations that seem to, well, define entire genres?
Yeah.
Today, we're going on a deep dive to uncover the hidden history of one deceptively small box that created these huge sonic landscapes and profoundly shaped modern music.
Absolutely. We're plunging into the world of the Electro Harmonix Memory Man, focusing particularly on its deluxe versions.
Ah, the deluxe. Okay.
And this isn't just a story about a guitar pedal, it's really a pivotal chapter in music technology, an analog marvel that redefined how musicians crafted and layered their sound.
Okay, so our mission today is to unpack how this revolutionary device, first introduced way back in 1976, became one of the most iconic analog delay pedals ever made. We'll delve into its ingenious design, explore the features that made it indispensable, and trace its undeniable influence on countless artists and musical genres.
It's quite a story.
You might be genuinely surprised by the sheer depth and versatility that emerged from, this single stomp box. So let's cast our minds back to the mid-1970s. Imagine you're a musician, whether you're in a big studio or just jamming in your garage.
You okay?
If you craved studio-quality echo, chorus, or vibrato, you are likely contending with bulky, expensive, and kind of notoriously temperamental tape echo units.
Oh, yeah. Things like the Echoplex.
Exactly. They were workhorses, no doubt, but they certainly weren't something you could easily, sling into your gig bag or neatly tuck into a home studio setup.
Not at all. These machines are complex, needed constant maintenance.
Right, and they really confined those ethereal sounds to high-end environments. Then something shifted dramatically. Okay, let's unpack this. What problem was David Cockrell at Electro Harmonix really trying to solve when he began designing what would become the Memory Man?
What's truly fascinating here, and it's really a testament to Cockrell's vision, is that he aimed to do something pretty audacious: miniaturize an entire complex studio process.
Wow.
Before the Memory Man, like you said, tape echoes were the gold standard. They created those lush, repeating delay effects, but they had, well, significant drawbacks.
Big time.
They were physically large, often as big as a small amplifier, prone to mechanical failures because they literally used moving tape, which could stretch, break, or get dirty.
Nightmare.
And needed frequent head cleaning and demagnetization. They were definitely not stomp box friendly. You couldn't just tap them with your foot easily.
Right.
So the fundamental challenge was to take that rich, dynamic, studio-grade delay with all its sonic character and package it into a compact, reliable, and crucially foot-controllable format.
Okay.
Something musicians could easily use on stage or in their own, more accessible recording spaces. He essentially sought to democratize sophisticated effects, put the power of a studio right at a guitarist's feet.
Democratize. I like that. And the innovation, the sort of genuine technological secret that made this miniaturization and truly revolutionary functionality possible for its time. Because it wasn't just about shrinking existing tech, was it? It was like a whole new way of thinking about delay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The core breakthrough was the adoption of bucket brigade devices, or BBDs.
BBDs, right.
These weren't mechanical, they were solid-state chips, a true leap forward from analog magnetic tape systems. Instead of a tape head recording and replaying sound, BBDs stored and moved audio signals electronically.
Okay, so how did that work?
Well, think of it like this. Imagine a line of tiny microscopic buckets. When a sound signal enters, it's passed from one bucket to the next in a sequential chain. The speed at which these buckets pass the sound along determined the delay time, and each time the signal moved from one bucket to the next, there was this subtle, almost imperceptible degradation, which, when compounded over hundreds of these transfers, created those famously warm, naturally decaying, repeating echoes.
So that warmth wasn't a flaw. It was part of the design.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It was a purely electronic analog approach, offering a level of reliability and compactness that the clunky tape units just couldn't touch. For you, the listener, this meant taking a giant temperamental studio machine with delicate moving parts and condensing its essential sonic magic into a durable, foot-controlled box that could survive, the rigors of live performance and travel. That was the real game changer, shifting a studio staple to a stage essential.
Okay, so with those BBDs powering it, what creative doors did the Memory Man actually open up for musicians? What were the standout features that truly made the Deluxe Memory Man such a versatile and, frankly, beloved tool?
Yeah.
Because an engine is great, but you need the controls, right?
Right, you need to steer it. Well, at its very core were those BBD chips, notably the Panasonic MN3005.
The famous ones?
The famous ones, yeah. They were absolutely crucial for creating those signature lush, warm repeats. These chips imparted this unique musical degradation to the delayed signal that became instantly recognizable and, well, highly sought after.
Early Memory Man units offered a respectable, say, 300 milliseconds of delay, which was already fantastic for many applications back then.
Yeah, pretty good for the time.
But it was the deluxe models that really pushed the envelope, extending the delay time to around 550 milliseconds.
Oh, wow. Nearly double.
Yeah, a truly significant amount for an analog pedal of that era. It opened up vast new rhythmic and atmospheric possibilities, allowing for much longer, more ambient repeats that just weren't practical before.
But here's where it gets really interesting for me. The Deluxe wasn't just more delay time, right? Electro Harmonix added something special that really expanded its capabilities beyond just simple repetition.
That's where the magic of the Deluxe truly shines. It introduced a dedicated modulation section, offering both chorus and vibrato modes.
Okay, modulation.
And this was a groundbreaking addition for an analog delay pedal at the time. It allowed musicians to apply pitch modulation to the delayed repeats.
So like making the echoes wobble a bit. Exactly. Generating those dreamy, ethereal, swirling textures that became a true trademark sound of the pedal. It wasn't just about repeating a note, it was about repeating a shifting, shimmering, almost breathing note. This transformed the pedal from just a straightforward delay into something far more sophisticated and expressive. It let you create these unique, enveloping soundscapes, making the guitar almost sing with these rich, complex harmonics.
And the controls. How exactly did they give players this kind of power and sonic flexibility? You mentioned runaway oscillation earlier, which sounds like it could be a lot of fun, maybe a little
Oh,
chaotic.
it could be. The controls were incredibly intuitive yet offered immense power. You had the blend knob, which was vital for mixing your dry, unaffected signal with the delayed wet signal.
Standard stuff, but important.
Crucial for dialing in exactly how prominent you wanted the effect to be, from subtle ambience to an overwhelming wash. Then, the delay knob set the repeat time precisely, quick slapback, long atmospheric delays, anything in between. And then there's the feedback control. This knob was where things could get wild.
Here we go.
It could go from just one single discrete repeat all the way to runaway oscillation, where the sound feeds back on itself endlessly, building in intensity, creating this wall of sustained, modulated tone. It wasn't just an effect, it truly allowed the pedal to double as a noise generator, a source of wild, experimental sound.
So artists could really get creative with that.
Oh yeah, avant-garde artists quickly embraced that as a creative tool in itself. Plus, the deluxe versions had specific depth and rate controls for the chorus vibrato.
Right, for the modulation.
Depth controlled how intense the pitch wobble was. Rate controlled how fast it wobbled. All these elements combined to give it its unique and highly sought-after tonal characteristics. Those famously warm, dark echoes that decayed so musically, the lush, almost three-dimensional quality from the modulation, and its renowned ability to self-oscillate in a wonderfully musical way. It essentially became an instrument in its own right, a real sound sculptor's toolkit.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So from its initial release, the Memory Man wasn't a static creation. It wasn't a one-and-done product, right? It evolved over the decades, adapting to new tech and, crucially, to what musicians wanted. Can you walk us through some of the key versions and how this iconic design adapted?
Yeah, absolutely. If we zoom out and connect this to the bigger picture of technological evolution, the journey of the Memory Man is a fascinating case study. The original Memory Man in '76 was a straightforward BBD delay, already a revelation.
Right.
By the late '70s, the first deluxe Memory Man emerged, adding that crucial course of vibrato section that truly cemented its legendary status and broadened its sonic palette.
That's the one people really remember, often.
Often, yeah.
Yeah.
The most famous iteration, often called the Big Box Deluxe Memory Man with chorus, became a staple in the 1980s. Then, even as digital tech started to dominate the effects market, EHX kind of stuck to its guns with analog.
It is interesting.
Very. The 2000s saw the Deluxe Memory Man Tap Tempo, this smartly integrated modern conveniences like Tap Tempo.
Huge for live playing.
Oh, massive. Let players set delay times on the fly with their foot, and true bypass, too, while keeping that cherished analog core sound.
Best of both worlds, kind of.
Sort of, yeah. In the 2010s, the EXO series reissued the pedal in a smaller, more pedal board-friendly enclosure. And most recently, in the 2020s, we saw the Nano Deluxe Memory Man.
Tiny.
Super compact, yeah. But still manages to retain all that beloved analog warmth in a miniature package. It just proves the timelessness of the original design. It's a testament to a foundational design that keeps finding new life across generations.
That's an impressive timeline, showing continuous adaptation and a real commitment to its analog soul. But an effect pedal is truly only as good as the music it inspires, right? The artists who pick it up and weave it into their sound. Who are some of the key figures who really embraced this sonic chameleon and etched his sound into music history?
Yeah, this raises an important question. Who really saw the immense creative potential in this relatively unassuming box and pushed its boundaries? The list of notable users is legendary, spanning multiple genres, almost creating subgenres with their unique applications.
Like who? Give some names.
Okay, well, you have the Edge from U2, for instance. He used it extensively in the early 80s.
Ah, of
He
course.
didn't just use it for simple echo. He crafted his signature rhythmic dotted eighth note delays. The delay became an integral part of his guitar riffs, foundational to U2's expansive sound.
You can totally hear that.
Right.
Like where the streets have no name or bad.
Exactly. That sense of space and rhythm is inextricably linked to this pedal. Then there's Andy Summers of The Police.
Another legend.
Right. He embraced it, adding incredible atmospheric depth to his already chorus-laden tones, creating those shimmering, spacious sounds. Think Message in a Bottle.
Yeah, iconic.
And then you get more experimental Nils Klein of Wilco.
Okay, interesting choice.
He's known for much more experimental use, often pushing the pedal into runaway oscillation, manipulating its modulation to create these avant-garde textures, expressive, sometimes wonderfully chaotic soundscapes. He almost treats it like a synth.
Wow.
And of course, Kevin Shields of My Bloody Valentine.
The king of shoegaze textures.
Absolutely. Famously used it to build these enormous swirling walls of modulated, decaying textures that are just central to the shoegaze genre's sonic identity.
Totally defining.
For you, the listener, these aren't just technical details. These are the sounds that shaped entire subgenres, defined the sound of multiple groundbreaking bands. And the Memory Man was often right there at the heart of it. It wasn't just an effect. It was an instrument for their creativity.
So it wasn't just popular. It was clearly a cultural touchstone for musicians, deeply embedded in the creative process of so many iconic artists. What was its broader impact and enduring legacy in the music world beyond just its impressive roster of users?
Well, this pedal truly redefined what was possible for guitarists, and by extension, the sound of popular music itself, being the first widely available analog delay pedal with dedicated modulation. That fundamentally changed the effects landscape.
It set a benchmark.
It really did. It inspired countless competitors to follow suit, developing their own analog delays, modulated effects, trying to capture that elusive warmth and character. It didn't just participate in existing genres, it profoundly helped define them.
Which ones are we talking about?
The icy atmospheric tones of post-punk, the shimmering textures of new wave, the massive enveloping sounds of shoegaze, and the expansive soundscapes of ambient guitar all owe a significant part of their sonic identity to the distinctive character of the Memory Man. It offered a sonic signature that became synonymous with innovation.
And that unique characteristic you mentioned earlier, its ability to self-oscillate, where it could feed back on itself musically, that must have played a huge role in its creative impact, pushing artists into new territory.
Absolutely. Its oscillation tricks made it as much a creative instrument, a sound generator, as it was a simple effect pedal. It actively encouraged experimentation, pushing musicians to think beyond traditional delay and delve into sound design, noise art, textural composition.
Right, using it almost like its own instrument.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, its influence is still profoundly felt today. Modern EHX versions, like the Nano DMM, continue its legacy, offering updated features, smaller footprints, but staying true to that core analog sound.
And the originals.
Well, beyond EHX, numerous boutique analog delays on the market today, think the MXR Carbon Copy, the Analog Man AR-DX20, they owe a huge conceptual and sonic debt to the Memory Man's foundational design and its signature sound. It's why original vintage deluxe Memory Man units, particularly those with the revered Panasonic MN3005 chips.
The Holy Grail ones.
Kind of, yeah. They're now highly collectible, command premium prices. They represent a tangible piece of musical history, a physical artifact that launched 1,000 sonic voyages and truly expanded the vocabulary of the electric guitar. It's not just a pedal, it's a living legend.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean? From a revolutionary BBD chip in 1976 that ingeniously miniaturized studio effects, to defining the sound of multiple musical movements and shaping the work of legendary artists. The Electro Harmonix Memory Man has truly earned its place as a landmark in guitar effects history.
No question.
It brought studio-grade echoes and lush modulation directly to the pedal board, empowering musicians with its warm repeats, rich chorus vibrato, and this incredible creative potential to generate everything from subtle atmosphere to wild, self-oscillating soundscapes. It really put the power of sound sculpting into the hands and feet of the everyday musician.
And 4 decades later, it remains one of the most beloved and imitated delay pedals ever made. It's a testament to its timeless design and the enduring power of analog sound.
It really is.
And this raises, I think, an important question for you listening. How often does true lasting innovation stem not from creating something entirely new from scratch, but maybe from taking complex, high-end technology, once exclusive and out of reach, and making it accessible, intuitive, and robust for a broader audience?
That's a great point.
Think about how the Memory Man democratized studio-grade effects for musicians worldwide. What other innovations, maybe in your own field or interests, have followed a similar path? Taking something exclusive and transforming it into something universally impactful, thereby changing its landscape forever. Something to think about.